तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। So now, the Karma Yoga itself was expanded a little bit, the meaning, and the idea of contribution was added, not just following duty, seeing your connection with the different forces of the universe. All this is expansion, right? So this is where the Karma Yoga itself, which is meant to prepare you, it involves so many different aspects. And all that was mentioned. And now, whether how much of it you do and how much of it stays with you and how much you use it for what? Helping yourself, it is up to you. So that idea is explained in the next verse. उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानं अवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः. It's a beautiful thing. Here he says, may one lift oneself by oneself. So that means the teacher can teach you everything that the teacher teaches you, but ultimately you have to help yourself. So, uddhare atmana atma. May you help yourself, lift yourself. Na atmanam avasadaye. Don't be lax towards your self-growth and self-knowledge. Atmaiva hi atmanaha bandhuhu. Yourself is also your best friend, and Atma eva ripuhu atmanaha. You yourself are your worst enemy, and you yourself can be your best friend. So make effort and lift yourself. So that means this can be, this verse can be understood before Vedanta and after Vedanta. In both cases, it applies. Before Vedanta, your whole life can just go. As I told you, that human life is a very special life, not because we all have a good time, but because moksha is a possibility in human life. That's a big thing. So that means you have been given a mind which is not only able to look at the world and interact with it, just in a primitive way, where you just think about your food and about your pleasures and that's it. A human mind is able to think about things. And the same mind which is able to think about how old is the universe and the whole discipline of quantum physics, neurosciences, the same mind, about how the brain works, what is this table is nothing but atoms, they can figure so many things out. And the same mind can also figure out one more very important thing, and that is the nature of life. So that means this is a possibility that is given to you in human birth. Now, whether you use this possibility or you waste away your human birth in doing small things, that is up to you. So that means challenges everybody has in life. There is no human being who doesn't have challenges. But if the challenges that you have faced doesn't make you a drug addict but comes to Vedanta, that means you have helped yourself. Somehow you have helped yourself. So therefore, and it is only, see, you can tell somebody 100 times, come to Vedanta class, and always somebody will find some reason not to be here. So that means by our own choices, we keep ourselves from this knowledge, which is the highest possibility as a human being. Can you have something more than limitlessness in life? Can you think of a goal which will give you that limitlessness, and that too not some external thing? I am limitless, and that is a clear knowledge and clear understanding. So that's why, and you can help yourself to this knowledge. And even after you come to Vedanta, you still have to help yourself. Because this knowledge is quite extraordinary. It doesn't just happen like that. It requires effort. And are you going to use Vedanta? See, in Vedanta, two words are very often used as escape words. Two words are used actually in tradition very precisely, mithya and maya. They are very precise words which convey something very, very specific. But if we are not ready, what happens is these two words we use to try to what? Bypass everything. And not pay attention to that. And then we begin to have our own version of Vedanta. And we don't stay with the truth. There also you have to help yourself. You need to help yourself with your own growth, your own attitude, your own level of participation.
I have a question. There is Atma, but Atma in this case is the mind.
Yeah,
many
wonderful,
times Atma.
wonderful. Here it is in the sense of the mind.
Ah, okay.
Correct. Very good observation. Here, because Atma, that the final Atma that we are talking about, so that's a very good. Atma, see, the final Atma that we are talking about is not at all a doer, not at all an enjoyer. Doesn't have to make any decisions, because Atma is what? Akarta, the Atma. In this case, but we still have to know it. So right now, what is our I? Our I is what? This little entity, which is mostly the mind. Right? So therefore, right now, so the ultimate knowledge that you have to gain is of real nature of Atma. But right now you're not operating as real nature of I. You're operating as who? The individual. So therefore, the individual can help oneself by oneself. Either you can come to Vedanta or waste away your life. It's your choice, individual. Or even after coming to Vedanta, how you use Vedanta to help yourself to be a good human being and then get the knowledge, or just kind of use this Vedanta in a way to what? Superficially get away from everything that you have to face. Like Arjuna. Arjuna was again and again told by Lord Krishna, you have to be here and you have to do what you have to do. So therefore, all this is up to you. So therefore, what he says is, now please don't complain about things, take charge of your life. If you don't take charge of your life, who can? The teacher can teach you. And this is why, what is interesting is, there are people, when last night we were going back in a car, and we were just discussing. And, in some ways, I feel that I don't know much, I've never done one. But I feel psychotherapy is good because it really, really helps people to get out of their problem. But somebody was just saying that it also then depends upon how you use psychotherapy. Because some people, they just use psychotherapy to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into their problems. So you went with one problem and then you find yourself with mountains of problems. So therefore, see, and there are others who really help themselves. Like they said, okay, now this is how to get out of it. So therefore, this is also very, very important. You help yourself. With knowledge, you help yourself. And that helping yourself involves you to get into problem-solving mind. Otherwise, you dig deeper and deeper and deeper into problem, and that problem is another problem, and that problem is another problem, and you're surrounded by problems. So the best way to help yourself, even psychologically, is whatever events that happen to you in your life, get into problem-solving mode. Okay, that happened. I did feel like that, but now what? I have been endowed with the brain. I have been endowed with the teaching. I have been endowed with the capacity to help myself, and I need to do that job. And this is why the whole teaching of Bhagavad Gita is empowering. It gives you certain frameworks, certain tools to help yourself. It doesn't just say, oh, I'm going to give you this wonderful teaching and now you somehow prepare yourself. I don't know how, but you prepare yourself and then you'll understand it. Within the teaching itself, there are several frameworks given for you to help yourself. Several. We saw so many different verses talking about Karma Yoga. Different standpoints where you require corrections in your thought processes, in your vision. And you need to extract each one of these as your life goes on to help yourself. So this is what it says, that even Vedanta, even though Atma is already accomplished, the real nature of Atma, it's already limitless. It doesn't require any action to make it limitless. But the effort is required to what? Gain maturity. And also effort is required to understand the nature of Atma accurately, without your additions and subtractions. Like the common thing, oh, Atma is some kind of a bliss, so now I'm sitting and waiting for the bliss. There also you require effort. So that each word of the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita and what it is meant to convey, you stay with that meaning. It creates that meaning in your mind and not some added or subtracted meaning in your mind. So that means it requires effort all the way. And only you can help yourself. So this is what Lord Krishna is saying, which is now, again Bhagavad Gita moves to the next topic. And this is a beautiful verse, which is now, there is yet another change of topic, and I'm so glad that you did this Gayatri Mantra prayer, because the next topic now is that of Ishvara, the cause of the universe. Up to now, what we have seen is the nature of exactly the true nature of Jiva, which happens to be Atma, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And we have also seen how to prepare oneself for the knowledge. We have also seen how you need a teacher to make you see this reality. We have seen all of that, but we have still not answered one question. And without this question, teaching of Gita is not over. Okay, I understand that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this sun, star, moon, and I am this awareness. And all these objects also, when I look into their truth, they are forms within forms within forms. Ultimately they become concepts. And they depend upon awareness. Okay, this is fine. But how did all these forms come about? That we haven't answered. Who created the sun? As we saw, it's not just an illusion, it's an empirical reality. Who created the moon? Who created this body and bird's body and fish's body and insect's body? Neither you can claim I created it, because if you claim that I created it, I'll simply create one more right now. Nor you can say my uncle created it. Nor you can say your grandfather created it. So therefore, if you are looking into the realities, you need to ask one more question. Where did this whole universe come about? So, the next verse. Tribhe gunai mayai bhavaihi epi sarvamidam jagata mohitam nabijanati mamebhyah paramavvyayam. Okay, now here, when Lord Krishna uses mam, he uses in the sense of not Mr. Krishna, but he uses it in the sense of Lord Krishna, which is the cause of the universe. Now, what is the nature of the cause of the universe? We need to look into it. The nature of the cause of the universe is there are several logics that you need to understand. One, that every time there is an intelligent creation, there has to be a creator. What does it mean if I tell you that this watch somehow got made by natural forces coming together? The steel came flying, the wires came flying, the battery came flying from somewhere else. He's looking where? And somehow all of it got assembled. And then there is this watch. Now, why are you all laughing? Why are you all laughing? Because it is laughable.
So many people think this way.
Not at once.
But so many people think like that. And they talk about it very vehemently, not only think this way. And fight. So therefore, this is laughable because every time there is an intelligent design, that is what? An intelligent, anything which is intelligently put together as a cause. So now, let's look at this universe. Is this universe intelligently put together, or is just randomly things are just kind of, thrown in? What do you think? Very intelligent design. Look at your own body. It is an amazing piece of creation. That you don't, every day you don't realize what an amazing creation it is. You don't even pay attention to it. In fact, not only you don't pay attention to it, you keep saying, oh, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. You keep abusing it. So therefore, but it is an intelligent design that you recognize when there is a slight problem with one part. One part goes little haywire, and what happens? So that means each part is put exactly where it is. It goes little here and there, and then starts what? All your pains, aches, suffering. So, I have experienced it 2 times. So I had a kneecap which is connected to your knee, and I was playing badminton, and the kneecap went just a little like this, just here to here, inches, and I'm in agony. Kneecap has its exact position. Few inches here and there, and you can have such a hard time you can't walk. Then your spine. You keep having, let's say, the spine has, last year, Utah told me that, when you are young, you are told to sit erect, right? So what sometimes you do is, you keep stretching your spine like this. So what happens is spine becomes stiff. So she told me, instead of doing like this, you actually put pressure downward, mechanics. And that putting pressure, instead of stretching it up and making it stiff, you put it down, my backache went. Small mechanics, and it can make such a difference. So that means this design is an amazing design. That when it is working and in fluid, there is just so much energy, there is so much, so many things you can do, there is, there is well-being, and it goes little off. And then we start having either aches, pains, diseases. So therefore, the way it is put, it is ingenious. Every part is where it has to be. Try to move the part. You say, no, I don't like the position of my nose. Okay, move it somewhere else. And you will see how difficult breathing will become. So that means this is not just things randomly put together, it is an intelligent design. And it's not only one human being. How many human beings are there in this world? What is the human population?
I think
7 billion? 7 billion human beings. And the human range is exactly the same. Our eyes have a range, our ears have a range, our human brain capacity has a range, which is different from dog's range, which is different from cat's range, it is different from elephant's range. But within this same range, how many variations? Infinite variations. No person, not one person is exactly the same as the other person. Not only within this 7 billion population, but also people that existed in the past and the people who will exist in the future. Even the twins are not totally identical. They are very similar, but they are not totally identical. So therefore, this design is an amazing design where each manifestation of this design itself is a wonder, but every other manifestation is equally a wonder. And not only all of us, the animals and the trees and all of us, we live, but we draw from the forces which are also given. Water is given, sun is given, everything is given. The oceans are given, the laws of gravity are given, biology is given, physiology is given. Psychology is given. This is what we call intelligent design. Now, if there is such an intelligent design, then there has to be a cause. Like in the case of one watch, which is an intelligent design, then there is a cause. Now you need to look for the nature of the cause of the universe. Now you say it is much more plausible, or much more logical to think that there is a cause than to think there is no cause. Up to there we have come. Now you have to do the second question. If it is much more logical to think that there is a cause, then I have to ask next question, what is the nature of the cause? Then again we come to the logic. The logic starts with always simple things and then it gets extended. The maker of the pot, whoever is the maker of the pot, must have two things. What are the two things it must have?
Clay and the clay.
Okay, so what Kurt is saying is that the maker of the pot must have the material from which he makes the pot. In this case, what is the material? Clay, right? So the pot maker needs material, and what else?
The plan.
The plan. Okay. Now the plan implies what? Plan implies knowledge, right? Only with knowledge he plans. So that means the pot maker requires three things. One is the knowledge of pot before the pot comes into being, without having initially the thought or the knowledge of pot, you can't bring into manifestation this pot, external pot. So must have the knowledge, not only must have the knowledge, must have the power. Only knowledge is not enough for the pot to come into being. Must have power to make the pot, and also then needs material to make the pot. Three things are required: the knowledge, the power, and the material. You understand? Now, so in Sanskrit, I'm just going to say so that you know, I'm not just, so I love to say a little bit, you have to hear the Sanskrit, little bit, not much. So here it says, Ghatasya karta ghatajna. The maker of the pot must have what? The knowledge of the pot. Now, if you extend the logic, that if something is the cause of not only for the pot, but for everything, it must have what knowledge?
Complete knowledge.
All knowledge. Sarvajna. Logic. To make a pot, you need pot knowledge. To make everything, you need all knowledge. So this is why, this is the definition of the cause of the universe. The cause of the universe, the name is Ishvara. And what is the nature of Ishvara? It is Sarvajnaha Ishvara, all knowledge. Now, this same, the all knowledge also, as we saw in the case of pot, must have what? Not only the knowledge but also power. So the cause of the universe, which is making the whole universe come into manifestation, should have what? Not only all knowledge but what? What kind of power? Complete power. So that means Sarva Shaktiman. Sanskrit. All power.
How is it called?
Sarva Shaktiman. Sarvajnaha, Sarva Shaktiman is the definition of Ishvara. Ishvara, the cause of the universe. All knowledge and all power. To create what? Everything. What does everything mean? Everything means time, space, and object universe. All the objects in the universe. Now, the next question is, Kurt said, it also needs something else, which is what? The material, the clay. Right? In this case, the pot maker needs what? The clay. Now, the question is, what material did this all knowledge and all power use to create the world? Which material?
Itself.
Super. Why? This is the right answer. Why?
There's nothing else.
Excellent. Excellent. Please understand, this is logic. If this all knowledge and all power has to use something else to create the universe, something else implies there is already time, there is already space, and there is already something there. Then how can you call this all knowledge and all power and the cause of the universe? Because already there is something existing. So, in this case, you can have different, the person who makes it may be different from what? The material cause of the universe. In the case of the whole creation, it is not possible. Logically, it's not possible. Because time is yet to come, space is yet to come, the objects are yet to come. So that means there is no material other than all knowledge and all power. There is no other thing yet. So Ishvara is not only the maker but also the material cause of the universe. That is a huge sentence. Why is it a huge sentence? Because it gives you an indication about the location of Ishvara. The pot maker can be away from this pot. I don't even know who made this pot. Could be somebody sitting in India somewhere. Or nowadays, you know, you can even get it done in Germany somewhere. I don't know. But can the material cause of the pot be away from the pot at any time? Can you have pot without clay? It's impossible. You can't have pot without clay. You can't have any object without its material cause. This table, can it be without the wood? No. So that means it gives us a very big indication that if Ishvara is the material cause of the universe, can anything be away from Ishvara? No.
And he could make something out of his finger and create it.
So?
It would be, or not.
No, because
that
Ishvara is
logic?
not one little person. So it is, because it is immaterial. So that means it is not a form.
Okay.
If it is everywhere, it is all forms is manifestation of Ishvara. Material cause of the universe means what? Everywhere there is any form, the material cause is what? Ishvara.
The analogy is a spider. Spider creates its web.
From itself. But now, what we are going to do is make you see this reality. So now you understand that, hey, Ishvara that we are talking about, the cause of the universe, is the maker. And the maker must have twofold capacities, knowledge and power, and also the material cause of the creation. And the material cause of the creation can never be away from creation. You see that? The pot maker can be away from the creation, but the clay, which is the material cause, can never be away from pot. Now, I'm going to show you, just be a little patient. I'm going to show you the presence of Ishvara. Be a little patient.
Can I only say,
Yes.
for example, a spider also make.
Yes,
but
I'm
it
not
can
yet.
go away.
I haven't yet used the
Okay.
example of spider.
Okay.
Now, because see, spider itself is nice example when it has one form. Here we are talking about all forms.
Yeah.
So therefore,
Okay.
now let's say that if Ishvara is the material cause of the creation, by logic you understand Ishvara is everywhere. Yes? Now, then you can say, but when I open my eyes and I see things, I don't see any entity called Ishvara. If Ishvara is everywhere, I should see Ishvara everywhere. Where is it? Now again look here and there. So this is why you need Bhagavad Gita, to understand that Ishvara is everywhere. How? You look into the form, any form, and we saw that that form is nothing but forms within forms within forms within forms. So that means this is a pot. Pot is nothing but clay. Clay is nothing but atoms. Atoms are nothing but particles. Particles, as I told you, itself are something else. And ultimately, there is no tangible object. There is only all intelligence, and which has the power to what? Bring into manifestation the tiniest particles. The intelligence which brings about the tiniest particles. But not only it brings about the tiniest particles, the same intelligence has the power to organize these particles and make them into atoms. Then the same intelligence has the capacity to organize atoms in different permutations and combinations to sometimes make what? 5 elements. Those 5 elements. What? Water, fire, air. Then, what did we see? Earth. Then the same intelligence has the capacity to organize these 5 elements again in different permutations and combinations. That sometimes it will become mountains, sometimes it will become oceans, sometimes it will become insects, animals, birds, humans. So that means there is this intelligence. Where is that intelligence now? Everywhere. That intelligence which makes me, did I design my vocal cord? I did. It makes me open my mouth and the sound comes out. And it gives you the brain who captures that sound, gives you the ears to capture that sound and send the sound signals go to the brain. And the brain is able to make sense of those sounds. All part of intelligent design. It's all there right now. We don't see it because we have veil of ignorance. Yes.
What is the relation of Atman and Ishvara?
Yes. Oh my God. That's a last. Right now we need to understand what is Ishvara. Then we will. That's a final card of Vedanta. Very good. That's a very good question. But first we need to look into little bit what is Ishvara, and then finally the culmination of the teaching is then to answer your question. That's a very good question. But you have to wait a little. Okay. So therefore, this intelligent design is everywhere, making the sun what it is, making the planets what they are, making the galaxies what they are. This all that you see, when you begin to look into the truth of the forms, actually you end up with what? The intelligent design. The all knowledge and all power, which assembles at every level. At every level. Please don't think that there is an intelligent design down below. Swamiji used to say, don't make it into a submarine. Submarine means it's down below. From which comes that tiniest particle, they get assembled into atoms. Atoms get assembled into 5 elements. 5 elements get assembled all the way. There is the presence of intelligent design. So therefore, this is right now governing everything. Now, what he says is, why do we miss the presence of intelligent design? The intelligent design which makes right now your eyes see. If it is so apparent and it is so obvious and if it is so all-pervading, why do we miss the presence of all intelligence which has the power to bring into manifestation the whole universe? The ignorance, and in fact the appearance is such that when you look and you open your eyes and see the universe, you don't only see all the work of intelligence which is beautiful, you also see wars, you also see violence, you also see abuse, you see all kinds of things. So therefore, it seems to you as though the world is all random and meaningless and problematic. And what you miss is the presence of intelligence. This is what he says, that even though I am everywhere, I am as though covered with three gunas. What you see is what? Not just everything which is a beauty. These permutations and combinations that you see have three gunas. What are the three gunas? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And the everything that is here is not only the combination of 5 elements, but the 3 gunas.
And the ignorance, is it a mistake of this intelligence?
No. No, it is not a mistake of this intelligence. That's why the teaching is coming to you. So that means the intelligence really knows it and gives you the teaching. They are not confused, we are confused. Okay, the intelligence is not confused. But we will see a little bit. A good question. Everybody is asking very good questions, so I'm happy. But the only thing I'm not happy about is I have very limited time. So, therefore, therefore, these 3 gunas, what happens is, they don't create a uniform universe. We think, our imagination is, if there is an intelligent design, you will see only nothing but beautiful things. This is our expectation. But this intelligent design is designed in a way that you have all kinds of people, all kinds of characters, all kinds of things. So therefore, what we need to understand is, the intelligent design gives you the possibility to what? Have free will, make choices. That is the work of intelligent design. How you use that free will and what kind of choices you make is your choice. And if in case you make inappropriate choice, the work of intelligent design is to give you what? Appropriate result. Yes. So that means that if I choose to abuse my free will under the spell of ignorance, of not knowing the nature of reality.
But I always thought then there is no free will, because if I do something wrong, then it gives bad karma, and that I have no choice. Because I want to create good karma, and then there's just one way to do it, more or less.
No, I mean, yes, if you understand that, right? But a lot of people don't have any understanding of karma or anything. That's why if everybody had understanding of karma, then all be doing good things, right? So the ignorance is so much that even though you are given the information about what is right and what is wrong, we make choices which are inappropriate.
But
So
then
for-
there's no free will at all.
Yeah.
If it's just in a way, or
No, there is a free will, because if I want promotion, for example, I have two options. Either to go and tell my boss stories about my colleagues so that the person doesn't get promotion, or I can really work hard and that choice I have. The consequence, this is why we saw that you have a choice with reference to action, you don't have choice with reference to result. Yes, you don't have choice with reference to result. Once you collapse a given possibility, then there will be an appropriate outcome, which is in line with your actions. This is why we call it intelligent design. Because imagine if there was no intelligent design, then what will happen is you let's say, you rob somebody's money and the other person is working really hard, and both will be exactly equal. Is this justice? Each one, depending upon the choices they make, they get corresponding result. The whole human justice system is based on that. The action, whatever actions you do, and then what? There is a corresponding result. So therefore, and that is called justice. If in any, there is, as a kid, I listened to a story, which was an interesting story. There were these two people who came to a small village, and in that small village, he said that whether you buy the most very lovely sweet, or you buy some one little grain of rice, it all has same price. So that means one person said, this is a silly kingdom. Who has made this kind of a rule? The king must be crazy. I'm not staying here. You are not able to distinguish between what different objects and the prices. The gold has the same price as the rice, and the rice has the same price as carrot, and the carrot has the same price as everything else. The other person says, oh, this is wonderful. That, oh, you can get the gold as the same price as rice, this is wonderful. I'm going to stay in this village. So the one person leaves the village, the other boy decides to stay in the village. And the one who initially he is very happy because he goes and buys gold and he buys all the amazing things and he says, oh, I can get it all at the same price. But the person who doesn't have the capacity to distinguish between the value of things, the king also doesn't have capacity to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. So one day, this is a story, kid's story. So one day, the king loses some jewelry of his. So his justice is, he tells his men, you go out and the first man that you see, you bring him and he is a criminal. When you lose the sense of what is what, it's a nice kid's story. Your justice is also all random. And who happens to be the first person? This one friend who decided to say that. And then he is brought to the court, and he says, I haven't done anything. Why have you caught me? He says, because that is my whim, my fancy, that whoever is the first one gets caught. Where is the justice? So that other boy is passing by and he says, hey, in the kingdom where you don't distinguish between different things, that king is cuckoo. So don't live in that kingdom. It may be attractive in the short run, but not in the long run. If we had a justice system in this universe, that whether you are a criminal or you do good things, we are all equal. Is this a great place to be? Cause-effect relationship. Very, very important. A part of intelligent design. Nothing happens, as I keep telling you, randomly. There are causes within causes within causes within causes. Even your presence here, all of our presence here is connected to certain events in the universe which happened billions of years ago. Cause and effect. There is a nice video that Surya shows that the blood that we have has iron, which is hemoglobin, iron molecules, what are they called?
Yeah, within hemoglobin at the center there is iron.
Iron. And that the only place where this iron is produced is from the activities of the stars. Imagine the magnitude of this cause and effect. It runs over billions of years. So therefore, this is what we call intelligent design. Unfathomable. The magnitude is unfathomable by human mind. And we are part of this design. And we have to do what we have to do. And if we have been given the capacity to choose, the dharma, as I told you, they are not external, they are part of human program. You're born with the understanding that you don't want to be hurt and others don't want to be hurt. You're born with an understanding you don't want to be lied to, others don't want the same from you. But if you choose to not honor that design, there is a consequence. That's all. Can you say design is at fault? No. It is like one example. There is a tree which is standing there and you go and rub against the tree. What happens? Who gets bruised? Who gets bruised when you go and rub against the tree? Go and try rub against something with bad. No, he knows it. You will get bruised. Can you tell the tree, you're so mean, you hurt me? The tree will reply, I didn't come running after you. You came and rubbed and you got rubbed in the process. Laws are like that. You choose to go against what you understand to be right, then there is a consequence. That is part of intelligent design. And this is why at any given point in time, you can never have 100% equality in any human society. Not possible. Because each one has different past causes. Each one creates new present causes which are different in nature. And this is why the consequences are all different. Now, if you feel that something is wrong, see, intelligent design doesn't mean that you have to just sit there and watch and say everything is in intelligent design, so I have nothing else to do. What you can do is, because somebody can be abusing their power, and if you have the power to stop it, like in case of Arjuna, he has to do it. That is also, that possibility is also part of the intelligent design, that you can intervene intelligently. So this is why this is what he says, that intelligent design is everywhere, but we think that when there is intelligent design, everything should be beautiful, and that is not the case. You see all kinds of things in the world which is an outcome of people's wrong choices. But when you don't understand that, what you feel is that this world is just meaningless, random entity. And you miss the presence of this intelligent design. Here he says, Tribhir gunai bhavaihi. The world is as though covered by three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. And all the different objects have different attributes and different qualities. And when you see that, what happens is, you begin to make conclusion about the nature of the world, and what happens is, what? The intelligent design is covered from your buddhi. The presence of Ishvara is covered from your buddhi. So, mohitam nabhijanati mame vyaf paramavya. That the people are kind of so enchanted or enamored or impressioned by the three gunas and different qualities and everything, they don't see my presence anywhere. You had a question? Somebody had a question. You had a question.
But I don't know if it fits now. I had the question if the whole universe would collapse one time because it's like a big cycle.
Yes.
Then is it very likely that the beings who will be in this new extending universe will be lower, I say it very easy, lower developed at first and then undergo all the evolution, and then there will be beings like us with the possibility to know
Okay. This is a nice question. This intelligent design, I will answer this. This intelligent design as we saw, from which the whole manifest universe comes. Right? Manifest universe means what? The tiniest particles. First the space and time. Within the time and space, the tiniest particles. All this is what we call manifestation. Right? Before it comes into manifestation, what is this intelligent design? Which is what? In a potential form. Do you understand that? This intelligent design, this all knowledge and all power, when it's in its potential form, is called Maya. When that potential actually becomes manifest, it is called what? The cause of the universe, Ishvara. So that means there was, when we say that the universe came into being, so what does it mean? We say time, space and objects came into manifestation. Before time, space and objects came into manifestation, where was this all knowledge and all power? It was there, but in what? Potential form. That potential form is called Maya. When that potential all knowledge and all power actually manifests as time, space, object, universe, it is called what? The cause of the universe, Ishvara. Same all knowledge and all power. All knowledge and all power before the manifestation, when it is in potential form, is called Maya. And when the universe comes into being, it is called what? The cause of the universe. Same thing, all knowledge and all power. So, and there are cycles of manifestation and unmanifestation. Manifestation and unmanifestation, as you said. So that means when scientists talk about this Big Bang, they are talking about what? One cycle of manifestation, which may just resolve and just collapse into potential and again manifest. This is what we call cyclical nature of creation, and not linear nature of creation. Linear means it started here and now it is going on. Cyclical means there are cycles of manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest. How do you know whether linear postulation is more accurate or cyclical is more accurate?
If you observe the world and how it works.
If you look into any given object, if there was a linear creation, you should be able to find the beginning of that thing. For example, if I ask you what came first, egg or chicken, man or sun, tree or seed, can you find the first? Can you find the first? You can never find the first. So that means the very fact that you can never find the first, it means that there are cycles where there is no beginning. You can't find a beginning to anything in this creation. So that means all knowledge and all power remains when the manifestation is there. Then what happens? All these different bodies and all these different minds, they all come into being. When the universe is unmanifest, there is no physical body yet manifest, no subtle body yet manifest. But what remains is what? The causal body still remains. This is why even if one cycle of manifestation is over, every jiva's causal body still remains. The only thing that happens is there is no physical and subtle body. When the creation becomes manifest again the jiva will begin to have what? The physical and subtle body. This is why a life of jiva is what we call anadi. Anadi means beginningless. Even if the universe becomes unmanifest, jiva remains unmanifest with all the karma in the account. When the universe becomes manifest, again the same jiva with one's own karma starts taking bodies again. This is why you never get moksha unless you come to this knowledge. You continue through cycles of creation. Because the causal constantly remains, even if the physical and subtle goes away.
So does it mean that every manifestation is different?
Yes, every manifestation is different.
Because there are some jivas who has got moksha and so it becomes different.
And even as you begin to live, what happens is you exhaust some karma and you accumulate new karma. So that means the world has to constantly change, right? not only every day as it goes, we exhaust some karmas and we accumulate new karmas. So the world by definition has to change all the time, yes. So that means next cycle will not be identical. Even within this cycle there are so many changes, right? 300 years ago life was very different, 50 years ago life was very different, 100 years from now the life will be very different, because we are constantly participating in the universe. We are exhausting past causes and we are creating new causes, which gives new shape to the universe. That's why we are a participant. You shape the universe through your actions, not just, you're not just a spectator in the universe. Slightly different, this is slightly difficult, but this is the nature of intelligent design. Ishvara. What did we understand? To conclude. What is Ishvara? It's everywhere. Oleg is doing, it's everywhere. Second is, it is cause of the universe. What is the nature of the cause of the universe? It is what?
All knowledge.
Excellent. Excellent. All knowledge, all power. What else? What kind of cause of the universe it is?
Material.
Material and efficient cause, both? Awareness we still haven't seen.
Okay.
We have to yet see that. Yeah, that's a good point, but we still haven't seen it. And then what? As a potential, it is called Maya. And then there are cycles of manifestation. This is the entire knowledge of Ishvara. And this is why, because we all have our causal account, so next manifestation, we will all not be equal, because a certain part of our karma will give rise to what? Different bodies. So, this is Ishvara. Now, the next verse, he says that most of the people, yes.
So this means that Ishvara is everywhere. Can I extract all knowledge from the tiniest particle?
Okay.
I have a small pot or so, and can I extract all knowledge on this? All knowledge of this must
No,
be.
see, the thing is, a human being is one of the forms, right, in this whole manifestation, and our buddhi is designed in a way that it has a certain range of possibility. So that means you as a human being cannot have all knowledge. It's impossible. But what you can do as a human being is, for example, if you study biology or you study physics, you can get insight into many things about this intelligent design. So you can come to know many things, but not everything about everything. That's why we don't have that possibility as a human being. Otherwise you and Ishvara will be the same, but it's not. So that means we have as individuals you have what? Limited knowledge and limited power. Ishvara is what? All knowledge and all power.
Is there still today Maya, so potential, or is this only one
Super.
every time?
Excellent question. You guys are just too smart. I want to finish and you guys ask all the most interesting questions. Very good. Excellent questions. Okay. Very good question. This is where I saw my teacher, he addressed your question. The potential that is before the manifestation, what we call the potential, right, which is all knowledge and all power, this potential all knowledge and all power can also be seen right now. How? Right now you see the seed. In that seed there is a potential of what? Tree. But you ask, there is a nice Chandogya Upanishad where the father asks the son to say that, hey, you open the seed right now. And the son opens the seed. What do you see? The son says, nothing. In that seed where you see nothing, there is an intelligent design, which is what? Which has a potential to make the tree. That means if you have taken mango seed, it has a potential, it's all knowledge and all power. It doesn't become pear tree, the seed. It only becomes mango tree. In the tamarind tree seed, there is a potential only to make tamarind tree. And the dimensions, the height, all the qualities, the properties, it's all there. But when does it come out? From one day to the other? No. Every day, little of that potential is collapsed. You water the tree the first day, you will see this much. Then you water for next few years, it will grow. So that means, if you look at the potential in that way, not only it is before the creation, every point of creation has potential, which is yet to manifest. The cells which are not yet come are going to come. That's why nobody knows what the world is going to look like 100 years from now. It's all in the potential. Depending upon the choices of actions that we make, the world will what? Take different shapes. This is why don't think of Ishvara as one fixed entity. If you think of Ishvara as one fixed entity, your Ishvara will become obsolete. Very easily obsolete. It is in form of the intelligence and power which organizes things, gives possibilities, and depending upon the possibilities that we collapse, it gives corresponding result. And it keeps going on and on and on. Did I answer your question? So the same, within the manifest creation itself, there is manifest and unmanifest. The yesterday has become unmanifest. Today is manifest. Tomorrow is yet to manifest. So itself there is potential and manifestation. Potential and manifestation.
Do you think that the dynamic in the evolution about the last 50 years has something to do with the man's mind, or has it to do with this creation, with this high intelligence?
So it's an interplay of both, no? So for example, it's an interplay of both, because let's say if we are mindless, for example, about the environment, then the potential, the intelligence, the intelligent design gives us the result in form of tsunamis, in form of global warming. So that means it's an interaction of your actions, and the intelligent design also decides the outcome. So that's why we almost participate and we create the universe in the way that we are, we are constantly shaping the universe also through our actions. That's why your intelligent participation is so necessary.
But the possibility that it could be, should become some like a plan of this Ishvara intelligence, or no?
No, because otherwise what will happen is Ishvara will become a sadist and say that, oh, I'm going to create war here, I'm going to do this. So this is where you can't have that,
I'm not speaking so much from the like tsunamis or accidents, but more from like computers, like
Yeah.
this evolution which
Yeah.
makes it so, not
So-
so much the negative, I see more
Okay,
the
very
positive.
good. So that means a human mind has
Yeah.
been given so many possibilities.
Yeah.
We have created several amazing discoveries. We have, and as a result, we have helped ourselves to a much better life.
Would you say this was ever as a seed in our mind?
Yeah, exactly. So
from
the
beginning-
mind and its potentials are
Okay.
there, and we collapse those potentials.
Okay.
Yes. And this is why the potential to know the final reality is also there, but you have to collapse that potential. That is also within that.
But you would say there's no plan, like the world is going in this direction.
No,
So it's,
no.
everything depends on the.
Everything depends upon. This is why the level of your participation is so important. If everything was already planned, what you just have to, you're like a puppet. This is why the growth, the nature of your actions, how much you follow dharma, as I told you, not only affects one person, but affects so many generations. We all shape the universe based on our actions. That's why the need for growth, changing the level of our participation in the universe. So, I give it a thought. Now he says, now there are a lot of people, this intelligent design is so prevalent, but are living totally oblivious to this design. And there are others who do have some kind of an insight into the cause of the universe. And those people who have insight into the cause of the universe are 4 types. And what are those 4 types? I will do after the break. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti